Hi, and welcome to EduNovela.com. We offer engaging, authentic TV programs for your Spanish students. Are your students bored in their classes? Are they tired of made-for-the-classroom ordinary assignments and activities that do not follow a continuing storyline? As a teacher, are you tired of using random names for your assignments and on quizzes? Look no further. Your students will love EduNovela.com's new TV programs, each one based on new and exciting content from major Spanish TV producers. Here's how your students will use our website. When your students get to our website, they will see the first episode and the first prelectura. They click here to go to the first prelectura, and they will have their important vocabulary from the lesson. Then, this will be broken down into grammar explanations for the student. The student can also listen to our reading narration. It can be read at different speeds, all at the choice of the user. This differentiated tool will offer 3 reading speeds to the user. Once the user goes back to the main page, he or she will start and watch the first of several video segments. Here, the user will go through the first module. The learner gets a little preview and explanation of what he or she is going to hear. Then they get vocabulary so that they can follow along through the lesson. We include subtitles in Spanish. We also offer another differentiated experience for users. They can listen at different speeds. If you want to focus on one particular word, you can go to 50%. A fairly normal pace for most students will be 75%. If you have heritage learners in your class, they can play it at normal speed. During the viewing, they have access to vocabulary that they likely won't know or might be interesting for them to know. After viewing the short segment, they toggle to the comprehension to see how well they understood the segment. They may have to go back to view it again. The experience is completely controlled by each user. When the learner is finished with the video segments, he or she will submit a quiz directly to the instructor's gradebook and get feedback on the progress of the scores throughout the months. Then, the student can read ¿Qué pasará en el próximo episodio? To see what's going to happen in the next episode. There are some other great features we add, like a unique Flipgrid prompt for each lesson under the Conéctate con tu clase option. If the student has a question about who a character is, he or she can access the Personajes pages to look over the characters. We have 42 episodes for this project for your students for an entire academic year of fun and engagement with comprehensible input and storytelling. As an added bonus, go into our Salón de los Profesores and connect with other real teachers to share activities. You won't believe how an authentic, engaging storyline from EduNovela.com will change your classes. They have never been so easy to teach.
Qué bonito es ver el sol salir de nuevo, para jugar a que te escondes y yo te salgo a buscar, quererte bien, quererte así, cuando tú me des permiso de soñar. Que yo te quiero y tú me quieras y nos queremos enamorar, decidamos nuestra suerte desde ya. Que yo te quiero y tú me quieras y nos queremos enamorar, decidamos nuestra suerte y que de ese sueño no despiertes. Que yo te quiero y tú me quieras y nos queremos enamorar.
¿Eres uno de los nuevos camareros?
No, estoy buscando a Cristina Almedo.
Cristina ya no trabaja aquí.
¿Cómo que ya no trabaja aquí?
Le dijeron que se marchase y no hemos vuelto a saber nada de ella.
Si de verdad la conoces, sabrás que ya no es así.
¿Ha llegado ya el nuevo camarero?
Julio Espinosa, acabo de llegar ahora mismo.
¿Qué se supone que estás haciendo?
Intentar encontrar a mi hermana. He recorrido más de 600 kilómetros en tren. No voy a volver a casa sin ella.
Ustedes forman parte de la imagen del Gran Hotel. Deberán conocer a la perfección las 60 habitaciones y las preferencias de nuestros clientes habituales.
Este pasillo es el de las suites. Son las mejores habitaciones del hotel y donde se alojan los clientes más adinerados. Y la familia Alarcón.
¿La familia Alarcón?
Los propietarios del hotel.
Se le echaba de menos, señorita Alicia.
Ángela, estoy acostumbrada a que mi madre me sorprenda, pero no a que guarde con tanto celo los motivos de una reunión familiar.
Creo que es un buen momento para que te comprometas.
¿Con quién? Madre, no le quiero.
Nadie te ha pedido que lo hagas, hija. Solo debes casarte con él.
Alicia, soy tu hermana, te conozco y sé que no vas a ser feliz con alguien a quien no ames. No renuncies a eso, hazme caso.
¿Y su nombre era?
Julio.
Julio Molins.
Localiza al dueño de esta fotografía. Si esta chica cuenta lo que sabe, será nuestro fin.
Mi hermana no se fue por su propio pie. Creo que le ha pasado algo. Y que alguien ha montado toda esta farsa para ocultarlo. Alicia, yo te...
Para ti, señorita Alarcón.
Deme un mes. Si no consigo encontrar nada, le juro que seré yo mismo quien se vaya.
Aquí, si no hay dinero, no hay apuestas ni nada.
Por culpa de este camarero y de tu idea de apostar en su contra, he perdido mucho dinero.
¿Dónde aprendiste a pelear así?
En mi mundo peleas o no comes.
Si no quieres acabar en la calle, no te fíes de nadie. Da igual amigos tuyos que digan que son. Mienten.
Tú no sabes lo que has hecho.
Vendrá un inspector de la ciudad especializado en asesinatos.
Este era el uniforme de mi hermana. En la etiqueta pone su nombre.
Julio, esta es la prueba que te hacía falta para ir a la policía. Creo que el vestido de tu hermana formaba parte de un chantaje. No lo sé, pero algo ocurrió esa noche y amenazan con contarlo.
No te vas a ir de aquí hasta que me lo devuelvas.
Ajá. Parece la punta de un cuchillo de oro.
Solo se me ocurre un lugar donde pueda haber un cuchillo de oro.
Hi, I'm Sherry-Ann Simpson, and I am the founder and owner of EduNovela.com. And we are a group of about 18 professors and high school teachers who are creating this product for you and bringing it to you and your students. So we hope that you're enjoying it. We're all real professors and teachers. And we've all had a lot of experience with this type of tool, so we are lucky that we can bring it to our classroom. So I'm going to show you right now what the different features are. So when you as a teacher, you'll also see the same thing on your desktop. You are going to see the different TV shows you are enrolled in. They will all come up consecutively in order according to the level. Your students will only see this tab, Student. They will get their Spanish TV program, their progress and growth chart, which is from the quizzes, should you decide to use the 5-point end of lesson quiz. And then they'll get a calendar if you decide you want to schedule them, the release of those so that they don't binge watch them. And we had a lot of students binge watching them. So you might want to set that anyway, just so they don't go ahead and work ahead and then take the quizzes earlier than you might want. So I'd like to show you right now how just one episode works. They will just go to the start episode here. They'll click on the little arrow and then there's a launch. So they'll click on that. They could also just click on the thumbnail photo, which is probably what most of them will do. And then they will get to the first of our 42 episodes will come up. They have a pre-reading, and that houses some important information. And then you will see that each of our episodes houses somewhere between 5 and 8 segments. It really just depends on how long the segments are. Each episode for the basic program is about 15 minutes of video times 42 episodes. For our intermediate program is around 16 to 17 minutes of video. And for our advanced program for Gran Hotel, it's going to be about 18 minutes of video. And again, each of our programs has 42 episodes, and they'll run in approximately the same way. There's really not a big difference in how we've templated them. So to show you what your students should be shown actually is here is the pre-reading. Most of them cannot read the prelectura without having help. If you have heritage learners mixed in your classroom with other students, they'll probably be able to do that without the help, but otherwise you have them go on the little link and they click, and here is the active storytelling vocabulary that they need to continue throughout the year, the academic year, or the semester, however long you're using this, to discuss the series. And that is something that we were super surprised about 22 years ago when I developed this tool, is not only did our students have input, which we thought we were just doing listening comprehension, but we found out that they were easily having output. And that is essentially because we do not have any English subtitles. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. So while they're in the prelectura, they do need this information to watch the authentic video. The reading front loads for them what they're going to see. We do not have translations, we have glosses. In a few cases, we've had to translate things. But they, again, will hopefully know a lot of this working vocabulary from your classroom. And if not, they'll be picking it up as they go through the show. One feature we are very happy we have is 4 different narrators with different Spanish accents. And they can listen to the reading while they read, which is, again, a lot of you know that's one of the great secrets to becoming fluent more quickly, is reading at the same time you're listening. And this can be listened to at 3 different speeds.
Silvana Riva Palacios Altamirano de Villaseñor es una.
So they can control the volume on that, they can control where they stop, and they can listen to it at various speeds. So that is going to be the pre-reading, which the vocabulary is highlighted in there for them as well. And then they will go back to start the episode. They've gotten a little bit of front-loaded information. And then they will have, here they have 7 different segments. It's 15 minutes of video. So they'll click on the thumbnail, which will open up the player. You'll see if you have, if your students are on iPads, this fits the iPad as well. We do not recommend them watching it on their mobile phones. It is not optimized for that. Most schools in the classroom don't allow students to use their phones. In colleges, you know, you'll do what you want, and you might have students who do that. They can see it, but again, it's not optimized for that. So here you'll see that they get this little it's a scene summary, really. It's a little preview of what's coming in the scene. And this is very helpful for students who do not have English subtitles. It's really a fundamental part of our methodology. So this is what one of our scenes looks like in our media player. And your student will open up each of these individual little scenes. Each one is, it depends on if you're in the basic program, the intermediate program, or the advanced program. Each one is between something like 2 and 5 minutes long, primarily depending, of course, on the level and on the storyline. Here you can see this one's 2 minutes and 33 seconds. So I'm going to start this off, but I also would love for you to show your students, make sure they see that there are different playback speeds for them to choose from. Heritage learners can listen at a normal pace. Many students benefit greatly from the 75%. And if they want to just hone in on one specific word, they should go to 50%. So I'm gonna, you'll see that there's a scene summary here in English for the basic program and in Spanish for the intermediate and advanced programs.
Entonces, ¿para qué estudias administración hotelera? Para viajar. Además, Andrés y yo nos vamos a casar pronto. Estoy casi segura que no me va a...
So what I'd like to show you right now is just the yellow words that come up in the Spanish-only subtitles. Pair here on the right with the vocabulary words. And then when they finish the scene, so in addition to having this little front-loaded scene summary, they will also be able to toggle back and forth over here under the vocabulary. They will be able to toggle with a comprehension question. And it doesn't matter how many times they get it right, they get it wrong. It is not scored. So that is just for them to practice and just for their own purposes for comprehension. So we did find out that students were a little bit concerned that that was scored. So make sure they know that it's not. And they can go back and forth and they can watch each scene as many times as they like. And so just be sure to show them the playback speed. That's very important. And then when they finish the 15 minutes of video, if they would like to, or if you assign it, they can read the post reading, and that's a summary in Spanish of what happened, again, to help them with their storytelling. And then they can also go in if they would like to. They get a little preview of what's going to be coming shortly. And clicking here on that will just open up again some of the glosses for the verbs. Once they finish each of those segments, then a quiz will pop up down here. You need to let your students know whether they're expected to take that quiz or not. There are different ways you can use that. It's 5 points of an English comprehension quiz. We do the quizzes in English because research does show that you can't truly test a student's comprehension unless it is in their native language. We know that the native language of all of our students is not English. We know that we have bilingual students, heritage learners. So the best way that we could do that and really show true comprehension was to do those in English. You do not have to use those if you do not want to. And that will pop up after the students have watched each scene completely all the way through. So they can't skip ahead to take the quiz. They can't watch it on another streaming tool. They can't just get the info from a friend and then try to take the quiz. There is accountability. They do have to do that. Should you decide to not record the scores, let your students know that they can just do that as another comprehension activity. Should you decide you don't want your students to do that little 5-point end English comprehension quiz, then you can go into our teachers lounge and you can pull out any number of activities that will show you that they're more formative instead of summative, and they will show you that they have done their work. Should you also like to, there is in our curriculum guide a prompt that connects with Flipgrid, which is now free to all educational users. You will see a Flipgrid prompt in every single one, at the end of every single one of our episodes, and you can just copy and paste that if you want to into a continuing grid. And then there are going to be other materials, and those are really for the teachers only. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the teacher section. So if you're sharing this with your students, you can end here. If you are either a teacher or a teacher manager, this is where you will go to this tab. This is your student tab. This is your teacher manager tab. I have 2 extra tabs for my admin. Here, the teacher manager is either going to be a lead teacher in your school or possibly a tech team member that you would like to be on your account. You can have multiple teacher managers. That is not a problem, but one thing to keep in mind is the school's rules about who can oversee other students' grades. I know if you're in a college or a university, there are a lot of very firm rules through FERPA. Everybody, pretty much all of us, have to correspond with FERPA, so you would not want to have other teachers who would be able to see your own students' grades. So that's something to keep in mind. Once you're in the teacher or teacher manager, you'll be able to see your users, you will have your grade book, you will have whatever TV shows you're enrolled in. And again, if you're enrolled in more than one show, you'll just keep scrolling on the right until you get to all of your TV shows. And then on the view the episodes, that will just take you, of course, to the episodes. But the part that most of you are going to be interested in getting into, and again, this is not for students, and we do not allow students as TAs to have teacher accounts, so please do not do that. This will also have the instructions for password resets, for checking grades and the like. So you'll go into our El Salón de los Profesores and you will see at the top of whichever programs you're enrolled in, you will see our curriculum guide. And soon we'll be posting some extra instructions for you as well. We will also be posting our new grammar packets that are coming out. We have a grammar packet for each of our programs, a part 1 and a part 2. Those will be coming out soon. And you'll see those in here. And then you will see all of the activities associated with your TV show. For Silvana Sin Lana and El Tiempo Entre Costuras, we have activities. We have more than 200 activities and printables. For Gran Hotel, we have more than 300. That's because of the various levels of Gran Hotel. And we have AP activities for the students who need those. And you'll scroll, and here you will see every single one of our handouts, online discussion activities that you can bring up on your screen. You can share those with your students through your LMS. You can customize those. You can print them as handouts for class, whatever you decide to do with those. And so I'm going to show you how to access those. You'll see that each one has both a PDF and a Word doc. So the PDF is if you want something that's like publisher ready, that you just hand out to your students, or you want to print it, or you just want to disseminate it to them, you can do that. The Word doc is what you would download if you want to customize it to your own classes, your own curriculum. We highly recommend that you differentiate even within your own classrooms. You may have 2 or 3 students who you want something different for, and you're welcome to make as many versions of your own sheets as you like. When you're ready to download or look at one of those, you're going to click on the view, and then it's going to take it takes a few seconds to download, depending on the richness of the images and how many images there are. And they're very image rich. We want them to be hyper engaging for students. And so we do have all of these wonderful images from the 2 TV companies we're working with. So please do give that just a moment to download. And then you will do that for if you want to just view them or you want to download them. And then you can manipulate those and send them out as you wish. The only thing we ask is that you not publish them on any sites that are public. So if you have a public class page that people can get to from your school's website, for example, you cannot publish those. You can disseminate them through email, through your learning management system, however you'd like to do that. And then we have a series of other fun activities, and actually very useful, especially for those of you who are creative. You will see that we have people cards. They're a little bit like baseball cards. And then we have many screenshots of different things that you can partner with your grammar, different scenes where you can just pull it up and discuss something they watched the day before. So you can use those as you wish. You can use those on your assessments. You can decide how you want to use those. And then we also have a lot of other like vocabulary cards and games and different things. And you'll see those all in this area that is called the El Salón de los Profes. And that's and then at the very bottom, you'll see some fun things as well. For example, with Gran Hotel, 2 of the stars made videos for us. They're directed to you and your students, and you'll see those. We have some screensavers, some, you know, different types of things that you'll see in there. And we do try to mark things when they're true spoilers, but obviously it's a TV series. They all last 42 episodes, and they move ahead. So you will see that, you know, some things will be spoilers. So for the most part, I think that's where you're going to see what you really need.